You're listening to the All the Things podcast, and I'm your host, Sofia Merlo. Each week, you can expect tips and tricks from beauty to business experts, or from myself as I navigate life as a young woman in her 20s. Every episode is chock full of value, tangible advice, while still sprinkling in relatable stories and keeping things real with my guests and you listening. Be sure to subscribe and tune in every Thursday so you don't miss an episode. Hello, everyone. Wow, welcome to 2023. How crazy is it that it's the new year? I know that we're all the way into January. January is almost over, but this is the first time I've sat down in the new year, being back home, back in Canada, and just talk to you guys in forever. I've missed you. How are you? Are we keeping up with our intentions for the new year? What are they? Do you do resolutions? What kind of new year person are you? I used to be a resolutions person, and in the last few years, I've become an intentions person because I think of it as adding things to my life versus trying to take things away. So some of my intentions, and next week's episode is going to be a deep dive on this, is all about being intentional, being mindful of my energy, being confident, and being self-disciplined. I'll leave it at that for now, and then I'm really excited for our solo pod next week, just for us to catch up, hash it out, talk about mindfulness, catch up on life, talk about new year, our energy. I want to dive into my Reiki sessions and some of the yoga updates I have for all of you. I think you guys will be really excited because I want to bring more of that to the community. But let's get into today's episode. I just felt like I needed to speak to all of you listening first. With it still being the beginning of a new year and self-discipline, self-improvement in the forefront of our minds and our actions, I thought this would be the perfect time to release this episode with Kelly. She is the owner of Vancouver Sculpt Lab and a friend. I absolutely love Kelly and her team, Olivia, over there at Vancouver Sculpt Lab. I've had a few sessions of their body sculpt and have been so happy with my results. Also, lymphatic drainage for all my girls out there that get bloated. This is amazing. It's also a really nice way to just treat yourself and add on to all the things you're already doing by living a healthy lifestyle, taking after yourself. We talk about this a lot in the podcast, but she actually has a lot of moms who are her clients as well. And it's a really great way to have self-care and just have 45 minutes to an hour to focus on yourself and do something that makes you feel like your best self. So with the title Vancouver Sculpt Lab, there is a lot of different options of body contouring, body sculpting. She also does lashes and eyebrows. Like literally, if you want that perfect laminated brow look, and not even that like really fuzzy brow look that was kind of popular but it's out, just that really clean, sophisticated, elegant but still trendy, and like when you see it on someone you're like, I'm intimidated by them, but I want to be them and I want to be their friend. They probably got their brows done by Kelly. I'm not even kidding. If you go on Instagram and look up someone for inspiration pics, especially in the Vancouver area, I can guarantee that it was done by Kelly. I also thought that this was perfect timing for this episode because January, a lot of people, their resolution or their intention revolves around weight loss or a vanity kind of thing when it comes to health, which to each your own. That's totally fine if that's what's best for you and your health. But I wanted to also flip this subject on its head because yes, body contouring obviously has an aesthetic component to it, but we really lean into the wellness side of things and to the fact that it's taking ownership of your body and doing what makes you feel best and doing it because it makes you happy, not to please anybody else. We also talk about celebrities because I think it's impossible to talk about anything in the body modification world and not talk about social media and comparing yourself. We also talked about comparing yourself to how you used to be. Again, moms out there, pre-baby body, like your body changes all the time. We're constantly in flux. And even if you focus on not comparing yourself to influencers and celebrities, I know I'm guilty of comparing myself to myself. So we have a fun quick fire game at the end of some of your favorite celebrities and influencers, and Kelly gives her expert opinion and I just chime in since I'm obsessed with TikTok and seeing videos like this on what we think they've had done. This is all just speculation, our opinions, and just for fun. However, I thought it was an important component to have to this episode since we're talking about body contouring, body modifications, especially for my younger listeners out there who maybe this sounds really exciting and really fun for you. Watch yourself. I can guarantee you're going to look back at the photos you take of yourself even in 2 years from now and be like, oh my God, why was I so stressed out about that? And if you're scrolling on your phone, consuming a bunch of media, consuming mindlessly, like you're just not even thinking and it's an automatic behavior to scroll on your phone and look at people of all shapes and sizes and compare yourself to them, here's a little bit behind the scenes, what seems like a really easily attained body as well. So flipping the subject a little bit, talking about both ways, and again, tying it all in with a new year, same us with a better mindset about things, and a really fun episode. I'm just so honored Kelly came on the podcast. It was a long time coming, so I'm really thankful that she made the time on her day to come on as well. To find Kelly, all of her links will be in the show notes below, as well as all of our links. If you're a new listener, I would love for you to leave us a 5-star review on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Also, if you're not doing so already, I need to plug our socials, and you can find us at All the Things The Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube. We're starting to get more and more out there on YouTube, including our yoga flow that was released last week. If you haven't done so already, be sure to check that out. I think that covers everything for now. Without any further ado, here is All the Things with Kelly, owner of Vancouver Sculpt Lab. Okay, Kelly, so you have a background in the beauty space as well, for those who don't know, but I want to know, I like to go way back in the beginning with my guests. How did you first get into the beauty and then body contouring world?
Back to the beginning, huh? It's such a long story for me.
Well, I love long stories.
The one thing I've always been obsessed about since I was younger was transformations. And it literally started with my mom buying me, like play makeup when you're younger, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with like the Lip Smackers chapsticks.
Oh my God, you just unlocked so many memories. Yes.
I know. Okay, so I remember they came in different flavors like blueberry and all that. And for some odd reason, I thought that they would make my skin different colors. So I started putting on my eyes and everything like that. And I was just obsessed with how it made me feel and look, just like I enhanced myself a bit. And like from then, I've always been into makeup. And, again, with the transformations, I used to take girls home from school and cut their hair and do their eyebrows, their makeup, because I've always wanted people to see their full potential. You know what I mean? And it wasn't in a bad way or anything like that. I was just being friendly, but I just felt like I wanted to help people feel and look their best.
That's actually really sweet.
Yeah, and it just stemmed from there. And then when I was 18, I went into makeup school, did all that, and I realized, makeup was great and everything like that, but I wanted to do something a little bit more permanent, something that doesn't get washed off at night, something that they could take with them in their everyday lives instead of painting on a face so they could feel more confident with themselves. And that's how I got into more of the aesthetic side of the beauty industry.
I love that you would just take your friends and do transformations. I feel like you were ahead of your time. Now there's so many makeover shows and things, and you were already doing that just because you wanted to help out your friends and you thought it was fun. I think that is so sweet.
And it wasn't even just a friend. Sometimes it'd be a random girl I met in class. And we were just like, hey, do you want to skip class and have a makeover? So bad. Don't skip school, kids. But, yeah. And it literally stemmed from there. I knew it was something that I've always wanted to do. And there was nothing else for me in this world but to give people this confidence and, to be able to do these transformations. Like, it's fun too,
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So you've always been quite entrepreneurial then as well, because I feel like even someone who is passionate about makeovers and wanting other people to feel their best, if you don't have that entrepreneurial spirit, you might not actually take action on it. So that's really fitting now that you run your own successful business in that world.
Yes. Well, thank you for saying it's a successful business. I just feel like, you know, I'm still so new at this, but it's something I really love and it's growing pretty fast. So I guess you could say it's working out.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, I posted on Instagram before, but I've seen Kelly multiple times for body contouring and will continue to go to you. I've
Yeah.
had great results, but I want to know for people who aren't familiar with body contouring and what we're talking about, it definitely is growing really fast. I know a lot of my audience also follow people like the Skinny Confidential and Lauren Bostic, and she just posted about air sculpting, which is
Mhm.
different. It's more invasive. Body sculpting as you do it is not invasive, but can you give people a bit of a rundown on what body sculpting, body contouring, what that entails and what kind of those treatments are?
Well, body contouring in general, there's surgical and non surgical ways to do body contouring. Initially, the term body contouring is to contour the body, right? It's given right there to contour the body. With the non surgical methods that my studio and a lot of other places are offering now, it's more to help the body be a little bit more portionate, right? It's more focused on portions and balancing the body instead of completely changing it, enhancing the body. There's so many different methods now, but body contouring has actually been around for a very long time.
Oh,
It
really? I
just,
actually didn't know that.
yeah, very long time. Like there was so many methods when it came to, like wood therapy. Wood therapy's been around for a long time. Now wood therapy is where you take wooden tools and it focuses on breaking up any fascious tissues, lymphatic drainage, and doing a method like that does contour the body. It does enhance it. Cool sculpting as chiropolysis, that's been around for a long time too. That's been around for maybe over 10 years as well. But I feel like now, the past little bit since, the whole, we'll say like the whole BBL trend, the whole hourglass trend started getting more popular, non surgical methods are more accessible to a lot of people because, not everybody could afford to go get a surgical procedure. And not everybody either wants to have downtime or go underneath the knife. So body contouring recently started getting more popular. Essentially, what body contouring is just to enhance the body and make sure it's nice and portioned.
I don't think people realize how tied to the wellness community it is as well. Like you mentioned, what is it? The wooden?
So, like wood therapy helps with lymphatic drainage and to break up any fascious tissues. Now, breaking up fascious tissues is breaking up the connective tissues that cause cellulite. But with the wellness part, lymphatic drainage is such a powerful healing way to really cleanse the body out of toxins. So when you're sick, your lymph nodes are actually swollen. That's why you feel your doctors press around your neck area to see
Yeah.
if you're swollen. That's all the toxin buildup as well. So doing lymphatic drainage ensures you're flushing out all the bad things from your body.
No, and I feel because it has this tie to enhancing how you look, a lot of
Mhm.
people, if they're not in that world or interested in the aesthetic side of things, they might turn it off. But there are other benefits. I can speak from my own personal experience. Not everyone needs this, but if you're interested, here are some of the other benefits too. You feel so just light after. And if you struggle
Yes.
with bloating, or like you said,
Mhm.
if you have that build up in your lymphatic system, if you were sick a couple weeks ago, or just feeling slightly off, it's like a massage for your body as well.
Essentially, that's what it is. It's a massage, but it focuses on pushing all those toxins toward the lymphatic system, like how you were mentioning just now about being bloated. I've had clients that it is so common in women that we do suffer from IBS, and a
Mhm.
lot of my clients said it really helped regulate their digestive issues as well. So that's a huge plus.
I don't have IBS, but I know when I walk out of your studio, I love. I purposely wear a matching set and leggings because I feel so snatched and ready to take on the world. Like I am ready for my Pilates class. I'll go right to the front of the mat. Like you just feel so good. And like you were saying earlier, when you would take girls or your friends and do makeovers on them, it's the confidence part. You're gifting people confidence, which is so rare and hard to find because, like you said, it's not something you wash off your face at the end of the day.
Mm,
It's then how you walk out into the world. Like, I am such a big proponent of helping people and women feel their best. And that's really what you do every day.
absolutely. And when you look good, when you feel like you look good, you feel good. And when you feel confident, your day, your work, your relationships, everything is just so much more better just because you feel so good about yourself. So it's a lot more than that physical aspect. Yes, everything looks a little bit more tighter. These jeans fit better, but really, truly, your heart and your spirit just feels so much better. You know what I mean? When you have that confidence.
Oh, definitely. You feel like you can take
Mhm.
on the world. And I think it's Gabby Bernstein in Manifestation for those who are interested in that or who look at that. There's a whole scale of emotions to, again, it might sound woo woo to you, but I really believe it. And it's raising your
Mhm.
vibration. I think the lowest one is grief or something goes all the way up to joy, or there's one above it. But
Yeah.
after feeling your best, you then also raise your vibration and everything around you seems to be better. You're giving off better energy to people. You're more present. If you're with your friends or your family, you're able to be your best self with them. So it really goes beyond that whole aesthetic, is what I want to not preach, but get across to my audience who is new to this world or who is curious about it. It's so much more than the aesthetic piece, but that is obviously an added bonus. Now they know of you, they know a little bit more about it, but they're really familiar with hearing about the surgical procedures.
Yeah.
And maybe they're interested in that as well. And I know that's not what you're currently offering, but what are the pros and cons of surgical versus non surgical body contouring methods?
So with surgical, the one thing you could get guaranteed is a massive difference. Say if you are somebody that has issues with weight loss where you need a significant amount of fat cells to be removed, or it could be like it could interfere with health issues, surgical is probably the way to go with non-invasive treatments. Now, here's the thing, though, Sophia. There's surgical, there's procedural, and there's non-surgical. And when I say procedural, that could also mean things like injectables, doxycholic acid, which in Canada it's known as Velkyra, in the States it's known as Kybella, and that's where you're injecting doxycholic acid into fat pockets and it's gonna melt the fat, right? And then there's the non-invasive where you have no downtime whatsoever. So surgical, there is downtime. You're gonna get more significant results. However, you do have to still invest in post-op care.
Scary for me, the post-op. I've like going under the knife, even for my wisdom teeth when I was 17 or something, was so scary for me.
I know. Like, so surgical is great. Surgical is great if you want significant results. So pros, significant results, cons, downtime, cost, and you have to have post-op care. So you still need to get your lymphatic drainage. If you didn't get, see, if you're doing something on your tummy or anywhere where you're moving a lot of skin, you will likely need a tuck. Otherwise, you're going to have loose pockets of skin. For procedural, like injectables such as the doxycholic acid or even Sculptra, because Sculptra, some body contouring doesn't mean just to get rid of fat. You could be adding fat into areas, right? So if you get Sculptra to enhance like hip dips or anything like that, you could be swollen or bruised, right? For maybe about a few weeks to a month, depending on what it is. And it's still not that costly. And then non-invasive, such as cool sculpting, ultrasonic cavitation, radio frequency, there is no downtime. However, it is a treatment plan, as in it's not a one and done. You have to talk to your technician for a proper treatment plan, as in how often you have to come to get the results you want. And with all of these, surgical, procedural, non invasive, all require aftercare, though, somewhat aftercare. right? So with non-invasive, you'll still have to make sure you're drinking a lot of water because the way the fat cells leave your body is through your waist. Essentially, you're peeing it out. And that sounds so crazy, but that's how the emulsified fat cells leave your body. And you do have to stay somewhat active. So you don't have to go to the gym, but a lot of walking and things like that just to keep the lymphatic system pumping. That way you're going to get full benefits of the result of the treatment.
So we talked about some of the do's for before you go and receive a treatment and then how to care for yourself after. But what are things people should steer clear of? If they're wanting to book an appointment with you or something invasive, they can't show up hungover. They can't go out and celebrate with drinks after. So alcohol is a no. But
Yeah.
what are some of the other don'ts that they should do 24 hours before and that 24, 48-hour after period?
They shouldn't be taking any type of blood thinning medications, such as like ibuprofen, Advil, anything like that. You shouldn't be, well, the day of, you shouldn't be eating anything sugar heavy. That includes carbs, because that converts into sugars as well, for before or after, because after the lymphatic drainage aspect of the treatment, we really want to clear the body out of the toxins. So adding anything bad, like you said, alcohol, any sugars, anything like that is a big no-no for after. But other than that, the beauty of non-invasive treatments is you could pretty much go on about your day and live freely. You could do whatever you want except for putting some bad things in your body like sugar and alcohol. Oh, and no drinking coffee the day of. No heavy caffeine. Green tea's all right. Green tea's nice and clean. It's good and detoxing for the body.
That is kind of a nice habit stacking method, though, if you're looking to get any of these things done. And again, I can only speak from my personal experience, but it's nice having, I personally, and those who listen to the podcast know, I'm very into health and wellness and fitness. But if you're looking for a jumpstart, or if you've had, especially with the holidays coming up, there's tons of holiday parties and more indulgence than normal. If you have a few days where you're just feeling the need of a bit of a reset, maybe you had a lot of brain fog, you're feeling sluggish, this is kind of the perfect thing to force you to start some of those healthy habits again, because you can't participate in like the alcohol, the heavy sugar. And it's just a nice way to have a forced way to stop that habit. I know personally that if you have tons of parties and events, it's easy to get back into that habit of just grabbing a cookie or just having a couple drinks here and there. So it's also a nice way to have self-care in your routine, and then feeling like you're starting fresh back on your health shit again.
Absolutely. It holds you accountable a little bit, like, oh, I just got this done. I should really watch my habits right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I want to know a bit more about yourself, Kelly, if you don't mind me asking.
No.
Because for me, I think it's so inspiring. And for those who don't know you, you are so supportive of other women and other entrepreneurs. And how did you find the courage to open up your own space? Because that's no small feat. You have your own location, you have your own business. It's really daunting, and it's a scary thing for people to take on. Was there little movements to get you started to now where you are? Was it an all or nothing? Can you talk a little bit about that story?
Yeah. So honestly, like how you mentioned it earlier before, how you mentioned that you feel that I am so supportive of, other people's businesses. Well, that's how it happened for me. I was working at a job where it was a great job, okay, but it wasn't going to take me anywhere. I was waxing eyebrows for this, it's a pretty big corporation, and I was waxing eyebrows for them. And then I started doing body contouring part time, just as a side hustle to make extra money. Cause, we live in Vancouver, it's expensive here, right? Yeah. So I did it as a side hustle, and my clients saw how hard I was working because I was renting a room in this cute little salon in Burnaby, and I had it about 2.5 days a week. Now, working a full-time job on somebody else's schedule, even though I had the room for those particular 2.5 days a week, if I wasn't off work at those days at my full-time job, I would have to take clients before or after my shift. So I would be there at either like 5, 6 in the morning until midnight,
Oh my God.
working 7 days a week. Like I had no life. My clients saw that. And a couple of my clients say, Kelly, why won't you just quit your job and do this full time? And I didn't think something like this would be feasible because body contouring, I didn't, even though it's been around for a long time, I feel it recently didn't get popular until about like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
from what I see, until I started going to it full time. And also having a supportive partner as well. He really encouraged me to let me know that I could do it. So after I rented that little room, only about maybe 5 months in of having that room, I quit my full time job and just decided to go full on with it. And it was the best decision I have ever made. Best decision I ever made because now I could fully focus not on working for somebody else, but to actually build the relationships that I have now with my clients and to really focus on what makes me happy. And it's making other people happy. The part about being supportive with other people's businesses, I feel like if we live in a world where we're more supportive of each other and want to see each other happy, we could all flow a lot better. Again, like what you said before, it's upping your vibrations. The energy exchange is very, very real. Very real. I just think it's best we all help each other somehow. And on top of that, when you're more stressed, it shows. And it shows on your weight and your skin and everything as well. So let's all be happy because if we're like, you know what I mean? Because if we feel good, we look good, it's a full circle.
I'm
Yeah.
laughing because that's me right now. And from when I've like come in and I'm just like so scatterbrained and my skin is a mess and I'm more bloated than normal, like my cortisol is through the roof. So
Yeah, that's your
yes,
stress levels.
we need to just support each other. And especially as women and entrepreneurs in this space, I
Mhm.
love that you had that support network to give you that nudge and clients who are saying, why aren't you doing this full time? But that
Mhm.
doesn't take away how scary it is from going. And I think a lot of people will resonate with your story of taking that leap of faith and going for something to give yourself autonomy, to bring you joy, to bring others more joy. I think that's kind of the entrepreneur dream, but it's
Mhm.
way easier said than done. And especially, like we were saying, living in Vancouver, which is one of the most expensive cities in North America,
Over.
not
Yeah.
having that guarantee is really daunting. So I just applaud you for taking that leap of faith. And I can speak from your client. You really do bring so much more than that aesthetic goal. Like, I genuinely look forward to having our conversations and
Mhm.
feeling so good and refreshed after an appointment. I'm so glad that you listened to your gut and took that leap of faith. But I don't want to discredit how scary that is.
It's so scary. And the thing is, you never know if it's going to work out. You never know. Even if you do something you love, there's going to be days where you're so stressed. But literally, I felt like when I quit, I'm like, this is all I have right now. So I'm going to make it work somehow. Because if something is all you have, you will make it work. It doesn't happen overnight, not for a lot of people, but you just keep working at it and you find different ways to make it work. And it eventually will work out for you. And you're going to be so happy that you did it. And that's how I feel.
I think so many people see the final result, or once you get to that point where you are self sufficient or you can appreciate and you have joy from your business, you're not living in that constant state of fear. But to
Mhm.
know that that's part of the process and that everyone goes through it, I think is reassuring to all my listeners out there too. I want to know more about the relationship you have with your clients because, again, I am one of them, but
Mhm.
you also help a lot of moms, people post pregnancy. Like, you help people with their confidence. That's really at the end of the day what you're doing. So I want to know how body sculpting has improved your clients' relationship with their body and self confidence.
How it helped them with their body and self confidence. Well, here's the thing, especially when you mention someone like a mom, right? They forget to focus on themselves. Helping people who are so busy in their lives, such as moms, people who have full time jobs, or people who can't even do things at their full extent because they have injuries or, they're not confident enough to go to the gym, they're shy. Coming here is a nice kickstart to show them like you have potential. Look, this is what we're capable of doing. And it's not about changing their bodies, it's enhancing and showing them that they can get to the point that they want to get to. Sometimes you just like with me starting my own business, sometimes you need that extra push. You just got to go for it first. And, doing this has helped me really build my relationships with my clients because you really get to know a personal side of people when they come here. When you come and get things done with anybody, you're very vulnerable. So we do build the relationships and we get to talk. And I don't know, that's the best part about the business.
I love that you said that you're enhancing your body because I think for a lot of people, and myself included, it's so easy to get into that comparison trap of comparing yourself to others, comparing
Mhm.
yourself to people on social media, comparing how even you used to be. Like we all go through changes and different seasons of our life and our body fluctuates, and that's just life. That's just normal.
Mhm.
But I'm speaking from my own experience, to each their own. I just want people who are curious about this to have a full idea of what it might entail or what they can expect.
Mhm.
But it's building that relationship with yourself. So if
Mhm.
you're someone who's super busy, and especially moms, I think are the ultimate superhero and often don't give themselves that time to relax or to just have an hour, 45 minutes to do whatever they want, it's showing that they also deserve that self care and they deserve and they should look after themselves.
100%. I'll even have clients like, moms don't have the time to relax. Yes, we do get to talk and things like that, but sometimes there's just a silent appointment. And
Yeah.
that's all right. You just relax. This is your time right now. Let me take care of you. We got this.
Or on the flip side of that, your hands are free. If you're really crazy busy and you do not have any time at all, you can be
Mhm.
sitting there still relaxing and be like doing emails on your phone. Not that I encourage that, but if you're really just in a bind, you can still kind of have the best of both of those worlds.
Oh, I have people that do that all the time. The watches are going off, like, oh, I'm getting message, taking work calls. It's fine. It's multitasking. You do whatever you want. This is a safe space. We're getting things done here.
Yeah, you're multitasking, you're just adding to your day.
Exactly. Exactly.
I want to talk more about that comparison piece and get into some celebrities if you don't mind doing a quick fire round for us.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay, I thought this would be so fun. We're all about acceptance here. I keep saying this, but speaking from my own personal experience, it's so easy to go on Instagram, see an influencer, see a celebrity, and start comparing yourselves. First off, it's a highlight reel, photos are edited. And for a lot of these people, it is literally their job to look amazing. But I want to have your expert opinion on some of these celebrities and break down if you think they've had body sculpting, body contouring, or an invasive procedure. Are you down?
I'm down. But wait 1 second. What if I feel like they had mixed, like a
Oh,
little bit of
could you
both?
give us kind of a list of what you think then?
Okay. I could do all that. I'm just so into this right now. I
Okay,
watch
no, I
things
love
like
this.
all the time on YouTube.
So my first celebrity is Kendall Jenner. She's kind of known as the most natural Kardashian Jenner, but
Hmm.
there's no way, like, definitely born, blessed, beautiful. But what do you think she's had?
Okay. I feel like she's had Sculpt. I feel like she might have had Sculptra on her bottom. I think she might have had a little either lipo or a little sculpting on the sides, because I say this because her body was a little bit more athletic before. Now she has more curve and all her stuff is done so beautifully. I might add, she's gorgeous.
That's, I think, the trick though, is because it does look so natural that you think it's just
Mhm.
literally how she was born. But I
Mhm.
think the more we understand that the best diet for you and like perfect workout program for you will still only get you so far. Like everyone in the media is doing these enhancements. And if that's something you want, you can do it as well. I just think this is really fun to have this conversation.
Mhm.
So my next person, I am a stan, Hailey Bieber.
I feel she's natural when it comes to her body.
Really?
Okay, I don't know. I just feel like her body just seems, it's a great body, but I feel like she just works out for it. I don't feel like she's gotten anything done, nothing that I could see.
I can see that. No, that's true.
Are we including breast implants at all on any of these celebrities we're talking about, or no?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do the whole let's do the whole thing.
Okay, Kendall, definitely augmentation on her chest, right?
Yes.
Haley, I feel like she might have had augmentation on her chest as well. Should I pull? I don't know if I should hit Google right now and look her up.
JC Maria, she's a podcaster influencer.
Mm-hmm.
There was the whole thing in the summer, and I think even until like last month that Kendall Jenner was copying her. But that's where I noticed, and this is all speculation, this is all for fun. It was like comparison photos. And in that, I was like, how, as someone who has been an A cup forever, how do they have those proportions? And I'm like, I think you're right on that.
Well, it's puberty, right? Quote unquote puberty, right? The celebrity puberty glow up. There's been some enhancements. But yes, Hailey Bieber, I don't think she's gotten anything done. Maybe it's just like augmentation on her chest for, we're talking body wise. I think that's about it.
Okay. Next up, I have, my name is Bella Hadid.
Okay. Augmentation on the breast. I think the rest of her body seems pretty natural. Maybe some lipo on the stomach for sure. That waist cannot be natural.
Oh my God, no.
She looks so good. It's so snatch. Yeah. No, yeah. Okay, some lipo and breast augmentation. I'm all over with my answers right now because I'm so excited. I'm trying to pick things apart. But augmentation and some lipo on the tummy. But that's it. I don't think she's gotten sculpture on the butt or anything like that. Everything else looks pretty natural.
You can't deny her genes. Like literally her and her sister are both the biggest supermodels in the world. Some people actually did wake up like that. One's had enhancements, but she's just like one of the lucky ones that those are her genetics for the most part. I agree with that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. For the next one, I have an influencer, Tammy Hembrow. There's been a lot of speculation in kind of the fitness influencer community that she's had quite a bit of work done, and not saying that any of this is bad, just bringing light to it because her brand is built off that she built her body. But what do you think as, again, an expert in this space?
This is so hard to say because her body is so fit and so nice. But I'm going to say, I know there's a lot of speculation, but for me, I don't want to discredit her. I feel like she's natural. I feel like that's all gym.
Oh my God, maybe I need to pick up one of her workout programs now.
Maybe not for her chest, but everything else seems like it's all gym. And she has children as well, right?
Yeah, she just had a baby like a few months ago too, I think, another one.
I think she's like all natural. She may just be somebody who's on top of her fitness and her eating, and maybe she gets lymphatic drainage, which it still doesn't count as getting like a procedure or treatment done. It could just be, lymphatic massages are for your health,
My last celebrity, unless you have someone that you really wanted to talk about, is Megan Fox.
Oh my gosh, surgical.
Yeah.
This is
I love how fast you were for that. Like you had that answer ready to go.
Okay, Megan, we love you. But surgical. Have you heard of something called a country club BBL? Okay, a country club BBL. Okay, remember when BBLs first came out, like when it started gaining its popularity, through the Kardashians, right? It was a particular type of BBL where it's super, super full, right? Now a country club BBL is called country club because it's more quote unquote conservative, where the booty just looks like everything's portioned nicely. I feel like she's gotten the country club BBL. It's just portioned nicely. Doesn't look like it doesn't match her body, like it's too big for her or anything like that. Everything's just portioned nicely. I feel like she's got it.
You just introduced me to a whole new term. Like I never knew that was even a thing, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I swear it's a country club BBL. Like look at her tummy, look at her butt. Her butt is perfect, but it's completely portioned into her body. Nice and full, but portionate.
she's also been someone, and with all of these women, I think they really do put a lot of work into eating foods to keep their aesthetic look up and working out in a way. But no,
Yeah.
I agree with all your answers.
Here's the thing. Not only have I been doing this for a while, but I watch, like I mentioned, I watch a lot of videos that break down celebrity plastic surgery. And again, it's all speculation and opinions, but it makes sense. So I feel like I was really ready for this fire round because I have previously watched so many videos on stuff like this. So I have too been educated by other people.
I think it's also fun to talk about these things. My TikTok For You page is filled with different medical estheticians breaking down if people have had filler or Botox or different things as
Mhm.
well. But I wish there was more transparency, and not that anyone owes that explanation. I am a huge supporter of do what you want to do with your body. And if you're safe and you're happy and you're not hurting anyone else, then you don't owe anyone else an explanation and you can absolutely go for it. But
Mhm.
especially being in that dance world and growing up, seeing magazine covers, or I grew up in the age of social media and thinking that everything was natural and could be attained by diet and exercise. I just wish there was more transparency about all the things that you could do, and not to say so that you can do it if you're not interested, but just so everyone has a better idea of what it entails to achieve that kind of aesthetic.
100%. I feel like yes, you do not owe anybody an explanation, but I feel like there should be a veil of secrecy lifted off of this because beauty is attainable and beauty could come in all forms and it is attainable. And I feel like, especially people who have such heavy influence on, especially young people nowadays with social media, it would help a lot if they spoke up more about this because now there's a lot of there's always been a lot of things happening with ED and, depression and things like that because of social media. And people see how perfect all these people look and they feel like they can never get there, even with the exercise, even with the diets and everything like that. The veil of secrecy should be lifted off of it. So, people could feel a little bit better about themselves and not suffer mentally if they can't look like that.
Thank you for sharing that as someone who's in the space and does that and wanting to lift that veil of secrecy. I so appreciate that. I have a few final questions for you. And my next one, I ask all my guests, and I'm really curious what your answer is. And that is, what's a product, a book, TV show, literally anything that you're loving and want to recommend to my audience?
Okay, so this year, it's been around for a while now. I've been so obsessed with these beauty ampoules from Dr. Babor. Have you heard of it before?
No.
So it's like little ampoules that have concentrated serums in it, and it's a 7-day treatment and it's affordable. So say if you're someone suffering from acne, they have a 7-day treatment that completely cleanses the skin out and makes it so much better. Or if you're suffering from loss of skin laxity, facial volume, they have a 7-day treatment as well. And I'm so stocked up on these ampoules. They look like little vials and have tons of them in my drawer. It's literally like a first aid kit for my skin. Any single little problem I have, I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm looking a little dry this week. Let's put it through a little bit of the skin rehab right now. And it's amazing and it's affordable. Nothing is over $40. So it starts from like $25 to like $40 and it's amazing. And anybody could get it.
I need that in my life.
It's so good. It's a concentrated treatment. So it's not just your regular serum in a pump bottle. It's like literally a treatment plan for your skin. I'm obsessed. I've been recommending it to all my clients because there's something for everybody there. There's something for everyone there. So it's not just one type. Whatever little issue you have, you just get these little Dr. Babor ampoules and fixed. It's so good. I swear by it.
I hope my boyfriend listens to this and takes note that this is a really great Christmas gift.
Yeah, I will send you the link and then you can send it to him.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Before I let you go, can you let us know where everyone can find you and find your business? I'll have all of the links in the show notes below to direct them to all your pages.
Well, our website is www.vancouversculptlab.com, and our Instagram handle is Vancouver Sculpt Lab. Same with our TikTok. And you can find all the cool before and after photos on there, and you can reach us directly. We're very good at messaging you back right away.
Awesome. Kelly, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was so nice to have a conversation with you on here, and outside of being a client, like, I could talk to you for hours about everything, and I can't wait to see you in person soon.
Thank you so much, Sophia. This was so fun, and I was so looking forward to this. So thank you for having me on your show.
Wait, you cannot go just yet. You know the deal. First off, thank you so much for listening to the entire episode. If you enjoyed this episode and you think someone in your life, whether that be a friend, a family member, a coworker, would receive value, please be sure to share it with them as well. If you haven't done so already, like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on all of the socials at All the Things a Pod. And also, be sure to leave your favorite moment from this episode in the comments of my most recent post, whether that be a tip, the favorite rapid fire round, who your favorite celebrity is, anything that really stood out and that you loved about this episode, and you might just receive a DM from me for a little gift. Who knows? I don't know who told you that, but be sure to comment. Engage with us. Let's continue to grow this community even bigger in 2023. I'll talk to you guys soon.